This video begins at dawn. Dawn of the Dead. Welcome to the filming locations for the 1978 horror classic zombie film. It was filmed inside the Monroeville Mall and outside. One of the greatest zombie films of all time. I'm a big fan of zombies, George Romero specifically. George Romero, the father of the living dead, directed and wrote this film, spent many weeks out here making that beautiful creation. It is at this entrance of the mall where in Dawn of the Dead, predominantly most of the scenes were created, right here in this corner. I'm going to be matching up several screenshots at all different angles right here up front at the beginning of the video. And we begin with the widest angle you see of this entrance. The motorcycle gang, the raiders, are coming to the mall. Notice all the zombies on the sidewalk, the window structures behind them, the semi that was parked there in front of the door. Check it out, here we are today at almost the same angle. These poles match up, the structure of the wall, the brick, the windows, the sliding glass door. Check that out, then and now. I have now stepped foot inside so you can see the widest angle of this entrance from the inside, the interior. This is when the raiders are exiting the mall. Notice the window, the sliding glass window is open. There used to be a payphone right here on this pole. That pole is still there. Everything looks remarkably the same, just changed a little bit. Here you go today. That payphone would have been right there. The doors all line up. Also have to point out the exact and precise moment that Tom Savini enters the Monroeville Mall right here. Here I am at a similar angle today. Everything still looks about the same. There you go, then and now. Also another angle at this exact spot. Notice the grassy hill in the background. Also the door to the right inside of the building. Right there in front of that lady's arm. Here you go today, the grassy hill and the door. This here you can see then and now perfectly. That little indentation there in the wall. Back out on the outside, this is where many of zombies came and tapped among the glass, the camera angles from the inside. Over here, in this corner, that's where the much larger zombie was bouncing his belly. Notice the stone wall behind the fellow here in the window. Here I am, where he was tapping his belly against the glass right here, and you can make out the stone wall there in the corner. We were just outside showing you the outside looking in. Check it out. Here's the moment when Roger and Peter are driving the semi trucks along the wall of Macy's here. Here you are today. They would have been coming this way towards that entrance of the mall. Also another angle in front of this wall right here. I'm about the same position today. All these bushes and trees have since grown up. You can make out the building a little better here, and also the BP logo on the truck there. Firestone today, Penny's Automotive. Back then, it's also the hill to the right is very identifiable. The parking lights in the parking lot have changed a little bit, similar angles. Here's number 30 today in a different location of the time of the film though, but very similar. To be more thorough, 30 is now here, but in the time of the film, it was midway right there at that grassy knoll there, which I know that because in the scene where the motorcycle raiders are coming in, there's a quick screenshot where you can see the number 30 light post right behind them, and they would have been about right there. Very similar in shape and size. The lights have changed though, but these are still the original poles, I believe. Here is the road that you see the motorcycles coming down towards the mall. Notice the fire hydrant. Check it out today. Look, that fire hydrant is in the same place. It may not be the same fire hydrant, it could be, but definitely this is the angle you first see the raiders come down this road here towards the mall. The mall and that grass right behind me, there's that entrance. Heading back this way, I'm gonna go up here to get the widest angles you see looking back this way of the parking lot in the film, and also the helicopter. The helipad would have been right here in between Monroeville, those letters, that part of the mall, and this structure right here with these 4 doors on it. I know that because of this screenshot right here. The helipad is right in front of this thing here. blew up that screenshot a little further, notice the zombies standing in front of this wall right here. This portion of the building, check this out. At the corner right there when it goes up to the larger portion, there it is right there today. The helicopter pad was right up there. Those zombies would have been standing right here from that quick grab of a screenshot. All right, see these giant things on top of the roof? That is directly above the boiler room. There is a shot of Peter standing right in between, either on this side or that side. But this shot right here is a good representation then and now. You can make out the structure in between, like the steel beams, those are original. That goes right down into the boiler room, and hoping to get into the boiler room somehow today. Now this is not the best angle, but notice up here there's a kind of a satellite thing poking up in the edge of this building on top of the roof. That is where Francine was standing when she was holding that gun. There's a brief moment. Here's the screenshot. Now just imagine us being above. These trees weren't here. This is the wall that you see with the zombies and the helicopter pad up there to the right, but you can make out that satellite. It's still there. Looks like an old television satellite or something. But yeah, Francine would have been standing right up there. And there used to be a staircase here, and you can make out some of the remains of that staircase that used to be in the corner leading down to where we just were, that entrance of the mall. I'm now on the top side of that entrance on the second level. There used to be a staircase right here, and that's important for the next screenshot so you can understand there's a bit of an obstruction now. Notice the grassy knoll, the formation, Firestone building way out yonder, all the zombies in the parking lot. Again, obstructions, but here you go, the Firestone building. You can make out how the concrete turns here in that screenshot. The end of the rails, the camera would have been a little higher up. And this grass out here in front of the Firestone building, those zombies, that horde of zombies coming along the parking lot this way. Lots to cover in here. Very awesome. They have a zombie themed laser tag here in the mall. Zombieburg here at this arcade. Totally different, no fountain anymore, but I'm pointing about the same angle as the camera at this moment when the Raiders come through the door down that hallway. No more fountain, and now an escalator right here. The Raiders, there's the hallway out to that entrance of the mall where we started. It would have been coming around the fountain right here. The only thing you can really make out then and now is this pole over here. There's a little rectangle spot right there. Right there. There you go. And I had to pause the screenshot just right. This is the closest you see the floor in the film. Look at this. It's still the same floor then and now. I'm standing about the same vicinity. The only thing that hasn't changed are the beams. The lights have changed, check it out. Those lights are different. Now there are some of the old lamps in the Living Dead Museum, which we will see later inside this mall. On the second floor, I just want to point a couple things out. Right here where this pretzel Auntie Anne's is, that is where the staircase was during the time of the film. The hallway that they constantly run in and out of, and down there, and this entrance to this hallway, so exciting to see. This is the main thoroughfare, the main corridor. You see them constantly run in and out inside the movie, inside Dawn of the Dead, right here beside Bath and Body Works. The first time you see Roger and Peter standing in this doorway right here, check it out, would have been standing right there. And then the next time they're running out the hallway here. Had to step back towards Auntie Anne's pretzel shop here. It smells great. Peter coming out the door there, about right there, running this way towards jcpenney's, which used to be over there to the left. Right here is the door that they would have come in and out of. Actually, here's a screenshot right here. Peter coming out the door. There was a trash can on the left, and this lines up perfectly. The bathroom door, the men's room door, still there. Check that out. And this is where they would have made that fake wall and boxed themselves in right there, and eventually the zombies, led by Steven, would have knocked it down. A screen grab looking back down the opposite side of the hallway. Check out the doors. Look at that, those two doors. Those are your pieces, your identifiers. There you go, one more time. Look at that. Here's another shot. Notice the drinking fountains over here. I'm beyond the doorway now. Here you go. Look at that, drinking fountains. Right over there still, different drinking fountains. Now the doors are formatted a little differently today, but notice this indentation on the wall sticking out there. This is when Tom Savini almost got Peter as Peter was climbing up that ladder. Tom Savini looking up this way, and it would have been this tile here that Peter would have crawled up into. The photo booth right there to the right and the payphones coming this way towards me. Trying to match it up today. Shot down the hallway, there you go. Now I wanted to play this scene real time. This is when Steven becomes a zombie and he comes down the hallway right here. I'm trying to stand about the same angle as he's coming down. There you go. Coming this way. Again, back down the hallway. Keep the drinking fountains in mind, and remember when I said they boxed in that door frame? They're about to break into it. Oh, right there, against the door. Breaking it down right there. They would have went right through this door. Wish we could go in there.
What is it?
Steven. It's Steven. And over here, which would be the south side of the mall, this is where the Pennies used to be. I'm just kind of showing you this angle so you can see it. The Pennies on the first floor down there, and the second floor was right here. Screenshot right here is the widest angle you see from this direction of the Pennies. In the bottom screen you can make out the escalators, but here you go, the escalator, the poles, Pennies up here, Pennies down there. But right here, about where this is where the sliding glass door was that they would go in and out. Roger taking shots at zombies out this way towards the corner here.
All right. Come on.
The sliding glass door would have been right here. You see this column here to the right of the door in the movie? Here is the column today. This is the second level of the former jcpenney's. Right here was that door before the present day Cinemark. This area is a play zone, and then back there you have the Cinemark Theater. These columns here were the main columns throughout the store that you saw in the film inside jcpenney's. Notice the railing has changed since 1977, 8-ish. The escalator over there, actually that's the famous escalator zombie right there, the one bobbing up. Well, here you go today. That zombie got shot about right there. The escalator zombie standing about right there. And as the zombie's getting shot here, I noticed the pattern then and now on the beam right behind him on the column. That pattern's still here today, right there. That's awesome. And if you still don't believe me, this is the column next to the door on the second level of Pennies. Well, if you look at the screenshot, think of the M16 that he sat right there. Notice this crack here. Now this tile's changed, but notice this crack here and how it lines up like perfectly this way. Well, look, here you go, here's the screen grab. Look at that line on the floor. He propped the M16 right there. And the scenes with the elevator and Steven, somewhere over to this side of the building. The elevator no longer present. Of course, this area has been gutted, but that elevator still exists, and it's in this mall at the Living Dead Museum, which we will go inside of. It's actually opening today. One more screen grab of the upper level of Pennies. Notice the column there before the zombies, the Penny sign, and the columns in the background behind the glass. This is where the door was. You can make out that column in the background of the glass. This is where the Pennies was, right there. Then, and now. And going down the escalator. Check it out. This is the escalator over here that you see the bobbling zombies going up. That famous shot of them going up there. Different escalator. Oh, the lights just came on. Different lights too. But here you go. I'm gonna show a couple things. Also, the food court, that way, this was the ice skating rink. And they said, I just talked to some of the security guards, they said that the ice skating rink is technically just there. They just built this all on top of it. That's pretty cool. And we're getting H&M opening up here. This would have been the bottom of jcpenney's. Notice the columns that run down the center. These are the columns just before the escalators that would have been down there. That's where Roger would have slid down the middle of the escalators. Here's a shot of that moment. I always wanted to try that after watching that. I thought that was so cool. But at the end, right at the end of the store, is where the escalators were, and a lot of action. At this column as well, this is where that sliding glass door was on the bottom. This is where they would have created the diversion for the zombies so they could get out upstairs, right here in this corner, directly below the door up there. Now, a very funny part in the movie is when this raider, the motorcycle gang member with the sombrero, gets in the blood pressure cuff machine, knowing that there's zombies around, gets trapped, and gets eaten right here. And this is where that machine was, where he would have been sitting, right below the escalator, right here. Check it out. I just love that scene. Now, to show you where the ice skating rink used to be, this is the best I can match up the shot. The escalators to the left and the right, the poles and the former lights, check it out right here across here to the food court. There you go. Then and now. Here's then. Wait for it. Wait for it. Now you really have to use your imagination on this one. This is the moment when they're having the target practice on the ice skating rink. I'm standing about where the camera was. At the end behind them, there is jcpenney and the escalators. Now, I'm standing in about the same spot. You have to use your imagination. But down there, jcpenney and the escalators to the left and to the right, I'm standing in the present day food court. Use your imagination, but I would have been standing right on the ice there. And now, so much has changed. Now in the opposite end of the mall, this is where that giant tower set during the movie. You can make out the tip of the tower in a screenshot where you see the skylights. I'm gonna match it up right here. All right, right there, the tower would have been dead center. Kind of shows you a screen grab of the corner here. Right there. Look at that. Skylights haven't changed. And there you go. And over here, the man himself, George Romero. Ladies and gentlemen, fixated right here in the mall, a bust of George A. Romero, a sculpture, the father of the living dead. Check that out. That is awesome. Right here in the Dawn of the Dead Mall, of course. Very last moment you see in the movie at the end of the credits, the tower. I'm now on the second level. Everything matches up though. The columns, the stores have obviously changed and there's no zombies down here. But right here, again, here you go, then and now. Tower would have been dead center right here. Dead center with all the dead around it. And coincidentally, the Living Dead Museum is having its grand opening during these filming locations that I'm filming. And actually, Leonard Lease is over here, the machete zombie. Maybe we'll talk to him in a second. But we're gonna check out this store, the Living Dead Museum. Look at that, and Day of the Dead, Living Dead weekend at Monroeville. Day of the Dead and the return of the Living Dead cast will be coming to this mall come July, just a couple weekends away. All kinds of dead merch in here of all kinds of movies, mostly Romero, of course. And here we go, we're gonna walk through the Living Dead Museum during the filming locations. Let's check it out. Oh wow, this is so nice, done well. All kinds of things to look out in here. 50th anniversary original painting there of Night of the Living Dead. This guy's just in the door over here. Check out his cap. Do you notice that logo, BP Trucking? Those are the trucks that Peter and Roger move inside of the east doors, the doors we saw earlier. There's a lot to cover here. I'm gonna point out the Dawn of the Dead stuff, of course. And then behind this glass, you have a poster signed by the entire cast of Dawn of the Dead. Right here is a representation of Roger with a gas mask on as he was wearing it in the beginning of the film on top of George A. Romero's old office building in downtown Pittsburgh. This is the original elevator from the jcpenney's in Dawn of the Dead. And look inside, it's Steve, and this is where he turned and became a zombie after being shot. Oh my gosh, he was actually shot up there. He climbed up there was shot by the raiders and fell down, and then the zombies rushed in. This is, oh my gosh, this is the elevator. It says it right over here. jcpenney Monroeville Mall. Dawn of the Dead. Door, ceiling, side rails, lights, key panel, and button panel. All from the movie. That's the actual button that they touched in the movie. And there's Steve right there. That is so cool. And there's some screenshots over here of this elevator from those moments of the film. The zombies getting him there. Check that out. That's when they rush in. Oh, and there's the ceiling. Alright, and there's Steve in the elevator. Okay. Check that out. Right there. That is amazing. I didn't expect to see this in here. Oh my goodness. And in this display case, you have the screen used jcpenney alarm and bell, the fire extinguisher sign, and then the screen used jcpenney ceiling lights. These were also seen in Dawn of the Dead. And of course you have the iconic Pittsburgh Iron City beer there, as those men were cracking open in the beginning scenes of the film. Original production zombie props from Dawn of the Dead right there. Check out the lines, the blood lines there. I have to point out, there's the windows and shutters from Evil Dead 2, the cabin, are right here. There's the cabin front door and the windows. That is amazing. I had to throw that in here. Here are some of the lights, the old lights that you would see hanging in Dawn of the Dead. Original interior mall light fixtures. And this guy back here is a security guard that was roaming around the boiler room. Representation of that, a recreation. Original escalators from jcpenney right there that you would have seen in Dawn of the Dead. Section of them. That's really cool. Fun facts about the Monroeville Mall. To prepare the area for construction, more than 6 million cubic yards of earth were excavated. The mall opened in 1969. So there you go. All kinds of zombies in here. We've got Zombie, the movie. We've got Michael Jackson Zombie from Thriller. That is so cool. And you've got Day of the Dead over here. Oh my gosh. It's amazing. All kinds of things. And of course, Dawn of the Dead, the lumberjack zombie. He's so awesome. Oh. Getting kind of creeped out. Oh. And at the rear of the Hall of Fame, you got the Mall of Fame. All these handprints. Bloody handprints of actors that were in zombie films. And there's Ken Forey's handprints and signature right there. Sign this. In 2009, Stay Scared right there. George A. Romero. October 9th, 2010 it looks like. Put his handprints on this wall. And this corner devoted to the original classic, Night of the Living Dead. And right here you have the first zombie ever seen in a Romero film. Night of the Living Dead, of course, filmed in the Pittsburgh area as well.
Officials are quoted as explaining that since the brain of a ghoul has been activated by the radiation, the plan is kill the brain and you kill the ghoul.
I have had an escort to the boiler room of the mall where the scenes were filmed in Dawn of the Dead. Oh my gosh, look at this. This is the boiler room, guys. It's so awesome. And I'm being led into the office. This is where you see Steve walk in at the beginning of the film. Actually, he was coming this way and he goes right inside of this office. And these gauges can be seen in the film. A close-up of these gauges here. And then a shot back this way. The woodwork's still the same. There's a lot more stuff in here, but check it out. The boiler room, the office. This is so cool. Very nice of the owners of the Living Dead Museum to get me back in here. Very, very awesome. Look, Johnson Control Center. The controls are exactly the same. This is the same controls. Actually, there's like a camera shot of it like sweeping up here. This is like blowing my mind right now. Steve would have been over here in the corner. Amazing. The boiler room. Got to be very quick in here. I can't really match up a lot, but this was the boiler room. Not much has changed in here. So cool. And here's the hallway you see in the film. Peter and Roger running down this hallway several times as we're heading back out into the mall. What a fascinating time. And notice this door here, these two marble columns there, the door open, that is that hallway. This is where Tom Savini got the zombie with the machete. Say goodbye, creep.
Say goodbye, creep.
Say goodbye, creep. Notice the door right here. Check it out right here. Tom Savini right here. Got Leonard Lease, the actor, which so happens to be upstairs right now.
P-A-M-P-A-J.
Space J-A-Y.
I want it to be the whole thing. Okay.
That'd be awesome,
If I
yeah.
put it on his back?
Yeah, you can put it right there, yeah.
Okay, I'll try to do it a little bit smaller.
Here I am with Leonard Lease, the machete zombie right there.
Hey, Tampa J.
What's going on, man? He's signing me an autograph right here in the mall where he did that scene, right in the Monroeville Mall. He even got the say goodbye creep magnets there. That's awesome. Awesome production shot there.
That's a pretty good shot. And they had blood tubing going up my back.
Going up your back there.
Into my head. And so upon Tom giving her the go sign,
Yeah.
she starts pumping it and it comes up and then down over my face.
Did it?
It's perfect. It's really perfect.
It is an awesome shot. Did it actually hurt any?
No, the only thing that hurt a little bit was when he kicked me on the floor.
Oh, okay.
Now that didn't hurt. It's just that, there's no padding on the floor.
Yeah.
I just got kicked to the floor and I fell. And I wasn't a stuntman, so I wasn't really told how to fall.
Right.
So I just fell.
You just took it.
And, and I got back up, and we were done, and I went back to work. I literally went right back to work.
So it appears that the old Foxmore store at the time of the movie is now the Bath and Body Works. Check out the ceiling work up here and this long vent right there. Keep your eyes on it. Bringing back the screenshot. Right there. And that tree, I believe that tree that you see in the middle up there would have been right there. Again, notice the structure here. That, right next to that is where Tom Savini was later shot by Peter from the roof up there, and he falls down into the former garden area and fountain that used to be right here. So the zombie was tossed off there, but right there by Peter, and then Tom Savini fell off down right here. Peter shoots Tom from the roof as he's on top of that bench next to the tree in the upper level. Notice the skylights and the beam in the middle. Check it out. Look at that. The railing is much different today. It's glass. But in the movie, it was steel. Coming this way. Now on level 2, Tom Savini would have fell off right here. That bench would have been right there. I just wanted to show you this angle to put things into perspective. He would have fell down there into the fountain. Here you go, Peter chucking the zombie from the upper level right here. Check out the skylights, the corner of the railing. Peter right there. Skylights, corner, different railing. When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the shopping mall. And here's the moment where the Volkswagen stops in front of the doors. I want to point out over in the corner here, present day, a place called 90s Nails, and you can match this up perfectly. This tile work behind the screenshot here, behind the Volkswagen, right there, matches up. Look at this part up here, it kind of makes a V, right there, that V, right there. Volkswagen parked right here after it came down the hallway here. on the second level on the west side. Speaking of Volkswagen, this looks like a Volkswagen here. Check that out. And a coloring box that says change. And I just got word in a couple weeks, right here where George Romero is, in the Living Dead Museum, this square will be dedicated to George Romero in a couple weeks. And this strip mall here can be seen several times in the background of the movie. Just among the south side anchor here, the Cinemark, former jcpenney. You can make out an aerial shot several times of this building. Now the camera would have been way up above the rooftop. You see the zombies on top of the roof as the helicopter just took off. You can identify the Firestone building to the left. This building on the other side of the road, that's the road the Raiders came down, the motorcycle gang. And of course the strip mall right behind there. Check it out. There's the strip mall right there from Dawn of the Dead. You can see it several times in the background, but I just wanted to show you this shot because it kind of gives a wide angle, and also there are zombies. Now headed out into the Monroeville countryside and then Pittsburgh for the other filming locations. I'm kind of working my way backwards. Started at the mall where the movie ended, working my way to Pittsburgh where it began. This is a windy road, I like this. For this next filming location, we come to Logan's Ferry Road. This vicinity out here is where the National Guard and the militia were having that shindig, where they were cracking the Iron City beers. Actually, there's a road over there called Maple Crest, and that's the road they were having the shindig. The actual screenshots you see of the militia, they were coming down this road here. I'm about to match up the then and now comparisons, but I just wanted to show you that there is a brand new neighborhood here. This driveway to the neighborhood was built. This is the hill that's been cut out that you saw the zombies on top of, that the guys were taking shots at. That hill has been cut through, and there's a neighborhood right on the other side of that ridge. Here I am matching up this shot on Logan's Ferry Road. The house, so identifiable then and now. Just imagine the militia here, these young men, the zombie militia and the National Guard. And parked right here, notice the telephone pole on the edge of the house to the left behind the truck, all the way to the left, and the ridge line of the hills in the background. Ridge line, house, telephone pole, truck, and the cannon would have been placed right here. Walking closer to the house, gonna go up Maple Crest to see if I can match up any of those beer drinking scenes where they're all gathered and shooting zombies up here, having a big old shindig. I know that that barn in the movie you see behind the guys, or everyone, as they're gathered around having those drinks, the barn was right over here. There's actually an old driveway. Here's an aerial shot from the helicopter. Notice the house there on Logan's Ferry. This is the turn we just took up Maple Crest. And over here there's some barns, and those are the barns you see behind the fellows drinking the Iron City beers. They're having a little shindig. Well, that barn would have been about right here beside this giant pile of dirt right up Maple Crest. And this is where they were cracking open those beers and having the shindig. Barn would have sat out there, and then the fellas would have been out there shooting. They were among that tree, and that's when they saw the zombies coming across the field out there. And right down there is the house, just to put things into better perspective, and you can make out that garage from that aerial shot as well. I want to point out that some of those scenes were filmed on Hazel Road, of the shindig between the National Guard and the militia, up Logan's Ferry a little ways, actually past the airport filming location, up Hazel Road, down here, up this ridge. This house from the backside can be seen in the movie. There were some scenes filmed out here. I can show you that from this next screenshot. There's a brief moment where you see the National Guardsman taking pictures. See this guy taking the picture? The hydrant, it's not there, but notice this house in the background, the brick, and the telephone pole above the helmet there. There is the house, the poles, and the paved road. Here, this is Hazel Road. This is where the guy was standing taking a photo of the National Guardsman. Now I believe they used this road down from the other one because this one is paved. It would have been easier to get those heavy trucks up and down this road versus that gravel road. Harold W. Brown Memorial Field is for sale. This next filming location from Dawn of the Dead is for sale. Now going back this old and bumpy road, I have just come down the road. This fence here is the boundary line of the airport, passing by the helicopter pad. Right there is where the helicopter landed, and you can make out this road, and of course there is the airport office that Peter went inside. And here you go, the helicopter lands right here on the pad. The fuel tanks are gone, but there's still some remains of them. Also, you have this pole and that pole still there. Right there, that's amazing. The two fuel pumps right here and here. Oh yes, yeah, part of the pumps are still there. There would have been one to the right of the pole right here. Here's the pole. There would have been one to the left, nothing really. Oh, there you go, right there. It's all grown up. Actually, here's a better shot of Steven and Roger there before the pumps. The pole right there, pump sitting here. Airport property, no trespassing. I would love to go check the knob on that door because the scenes were filmed right in here. And there's a famous shot of Peter walking right down the sidewalk towards the helicopter pad. Here's Peter coming out the door here. Notice the sidewalk, the windows, the door structure. Right there, as the church bells are going off in the distance. Zoomed in a little closer just so you could see it, the airport office. And that's where the lumberjack zombie is seen inside there as well. Inside there, Roger coming to the rescue after Steve missed the shot, almost hitting Peter. Now the camera would have been back before the gas pumps behind that sign, but I paused the screen just right so you can see these airplane hangars that just in a second in the movie Steve walked down into. Most of these hangars are gone, but this at the end of this row here, some of those hangars today are still there. There would have been more hangars coming out this way, but looks like they've been torn down. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pittsburgh. My first time in Pittsburgh this weekend in 21 years. I used to frequent Pittsburgh during football season back in the 90s with my family. We were Pittsburgh Steelers fans, and I still am today. A big football family. This next filming location takes place along the riverside between Liberty Bridge and the 10th Street Bridge. Kind of right in this vicinity, right here. This is where Peter, Roger, Steven, and Francie all got into the helicopter and took off. Their next stop was the Monroeville Airport, where we just were. There's a bit of a river walk or bike trail here today. These markers, these awesome graffiti markers lining the trail over here, the river. These buildings can be seen as the helicopters taking off after they took off from the police boat station, which would have been down over there. I'll go over there in a second. You could make out the Allegheny trucking sign, Ford Commercial Vehicle Center, in the background as well. Now this is all grown up. It's totally different, but as Roger's calling down to those fellas down the boathouse, notice the white fence next to him there? Not white today, but the same stretch of fence goes along the river wall here. Right there. Now here's the screenshot about ready to land here at the helicopter pad right behind the chopper. You can make out that Ford sign. Well, I'm standing in about the same vicinity. It's hard to match up. Everything has changed, but you can make that out clear as day. That's actually the Allegheny Trucking Company, and that is pretty much the only identifier to get an idea of the vicinity of where the helicopter took off, landed and then took off. Sign there, helicopter pad over here. Police station, boat station down the hill next to the river. Welcome to PNC Park, home of the Pittsburgh Pirates. I've come to see my hero. Ladies and gentlemen, the great one, my favorite baseball player of all time, Roberto Clemente, number 21. The reason why my family's number has always been 21 and why my favorite number has always been 21. And for this next location, I have to go to the top of this parking garage. That's right, gotta get the right angle. This parking garage will do the trick. I am now standing on the 5th level of the Wood Alleys parking garage on 1st Avenue in downtown Pittsburgh, looking across 1st Avenue to this building right here, the former office building of George A. Romero, the father of the living dead. This building, his building, former building, was used for the rooftop scenes. The rooftop is the filming location right there in the center. Actually, you can make out the doorways then and now. We're zoomed all the way in. The door on the left is the door that you see the gang come out guns a-blazing in the movie. They come out right there.
Let's go! Let's go!
So this red box on the door there in the screenshot, some sort of vent, painted red back in 1978. It's still on that door today, but painted white. You can make that out as well. You can see that here today. Zoomed all the way in as much as I can. And it's such a nice view over here. The riverboat's right across the street. Spent a lot of time in those buildings when I was a kid, visiting Pittsburgh with my family. In the tunnel, heading back to Monroeville. I just love these tunnels around Pittsburgh. They're so awesome. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up right down there. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the filming locations for George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead right here in Monroeville at the Monroeville Mall. I love malls. I've been to a lot of dead malls, malls that are kind of going out of business, but I've never been to the dead mall before. That was so awesome, tracking down those filming locations here in this video today. Thank you for joining me. If you'd like to check out some more of my filming locations, check out my filming locations playlist on the main page of my YouTube channel. Check out all the filming locations I've done this far, and subscribe below if you want to see some more in the future. I will be making more videos, so hit the subscribe button, and there you go. Thanks for joining me. I am Tampa J, and there is much ahead. I'll see you next time. See you guys later. I was a little hungry, so I stopped by the food court to get me some Auntie Anne's. Gotta get one of these mall pretzels, is what I like to call them. What's a mall without an Auntie Anne's? What's going to the mall without getting Auntie Anne's? Man, there's good stuff. Okay.